All right, we're leveling this floor out, which goes from about 1.5 inches down to 0. And I had to take some boards off of the far wall to drop that down so that I could get my height leveled. And I started with establishing this board across here, this one right here, to get the height correct, leveled it up, came off the corner, went across the center of the room, got that board level. And then I had boards that were exactly that long. And so I took those and cut those at an angle to shim those all the way up there. So basically what I did was held a level line on there, scribed that to the floor, and then laid all those in. So now I got to come back around and fill in this section here. Yay. So to get this section level, I took and laid a 2x4 on edge, and then it goes to 0 down here. I put a big long board across to here, set a level on top of it. It was level. So I held a string down here and set the board in the hole, and set the string on top of that board and snapped a chalk line on there, and then ripped the board to establish where my line was for level. And then we had a section in here that was pretty consistent, so I was able to just take one board and lay it up against the other board and then draw a line on there. And I got 2 of these scribe strips out of 1 2x4. And I went every 8 inches because I didn't want it to be bouncy and saggy, because the floor is already pretty bouncy and saggy as it is. So that is how you level a incredibly unlevel floor, which is also what I did in here. Here's the floor all leveled up, plywood on it. I got the little mat thing on there so we can really rest the floor, and we got the transition track put in here so that it's ready to go. And so we're gonna lay the floor up to here, pop this little track out, and then it's got a little T-mold piece that goes over the top of that to make the transition between the 2 floors. And that, my friends, is that. And don't forget to cut out for the vent. And here is the product of the finished floor, nice and level. And WD-40 works pretty good for taking those little stickers off that they put on the little transition strip. So we did this one before, as you can see, it looks wonderful. That one's done now. And now I've got to move into this room and do the same thing with that floor. But that one gets carpet, so it's not going to be as critical. All right, so we're back at the floor leveling project again. So I got a full 1.5 inches against the wall with a couple little shims under it to get it level. And then I put the next board in, and then had to plane it off a little bit. And the next board planed off quite a bit. And now I'm down to about 3/4 inch in the center, all the way down to 1. And just working the level across there as I go. And as you can see, it's a lot of shavings. So, and about right there, we should just about plane out to where it'll come up to the wall. But anyways, a couple more boards and we should have this one leveled out. And then we're using all scrap here. So we've got 3/4 inch, a few sheets of 3/4 inch plywood, but we're gonna do this room with. And the other room was 1/2 inch plywood, so I put in more bracing. But with 3/4 inch plywood, I only need 16 on center to cover that. And then I'll put blocking in between because I don't have tongue and groove plywood. Yep.